Hi, this is Michael with my first little weekly what I've been up to update. So I'm going to try and do this all in one take. I think I've got everything loaded and ready to go to show you, but here's what I've been doing. So here is a timeline of my week. It sort of actually starts from Friday. So here's the different things I've been doing. These yellow ones, which we'll be skipping. This is my admin, clearing inbox, did my taxes and stuff, but that's not interesting, is it? So the main projects that I've been working on is changes. So this week I have been working on this new screen, which gives you like a chart of your data over time that you can have smooth. You can pull this up, and most of the work, so we can see, look, so dark mode I sorted out, which we can just see with a little bit of this will show that. Or it should. Right, so we can see it sort of looks all right in dark mode. What else? Performance optimization. So this scrolling was not smooth. You can't really tell on the simulator, but this scrolling was not smooth because I was trying to use, because SwiftUI is this new framework that came out last year that is wonderful in many ways, but some things that used to be easy are now flipping impossible. So which is really annoying. So I was trying to do it like at some new SwiftUI, because I basically need to know to move this, to change the size of this chart. I need to know how far I've scrolled, and that is not available in SwiftUI. So I had done it with this complicated like preference thing, which lets you propagate something up the thing and compare the geometry of two different points, and it was complicated, and it turned out that's what was making it all slow. I did a lot of profiling, fiddling about with that. In the end, I just relented and went to just a UI view representable, which I didn't really want to do because I quite like SwiftUI to be managing all this root view stuff. But also just the dimensions of it, I don't quite understand how big it thinks things are. But anyway, this screen is coming together, so we can see like this stuff will be in the app soon, and it's just to sort of promote the export thing as well. I have been working on a happiness versus the pandemic video. So I've got like Dropbox paper together, and I'm just showing how to use, this is all a lot about decount, so I can sort of like do stuff with tags, which is going to be like this. So this is what I'm working on. I did a bit of a blog post about like what my experience has been throughout the pandemic so far, because I've got like 8 weeks worth of data since, so sort of to compare that with the data before feels like enough. So that's a video I'm working on. And also just if we look at the posts on Good to Hear, I've got these blog posts. If we have a look at like this one, don't know if I actually, so on the website currently they look, I don't know, they're just a little bit tight and a little bit uncomfortable. But if we just, sorry, I've just got to start up the local website, CD code, Good to Hear, Rails, Rails S. If we bring that up on localhost 3000, come on. Bring up the blog, happiness versus sleep. So now we've got a bit more space around things and a table of contents, and you can jump down and like the next step. What my idea was really to make it like paginated, but as a start, I've just sort of grouped it and given it a bit of a table of contents so you can see what's going on. It didn't take too long anyway. These are kind of like how long, so I'm just, and I also put together a design, like a wireframe for it. So the changes website, I'm not that happy with at the moment. I don't think it really shows you what is good about this app yet. So it currently looks like this. It's sort of focused on the AR stuff a bit too much, I think. Does a little bit of animation, and then kind of like there's not a lot to it. I don't think that's that exciting. So what I've done is laid out what I want that to be a little bit more clearly. So it's all about tracking, analysing your data with infographics, then making a change and repeating that through. And I'll do a video for it. Don't know what that's going to be yet. I'll do mention the Android version. I'm going to try and get people, I kind of want people to get on the mailing list and start getting the book. And here's what I'm going to have: track, analyze, change, get started, blah blah blah. So I'm chucking this over to Ian, who I hope I've got a call with later this afternoon, actually, to for him to have a crack at that, and also just to figure out how we're going to represent that 3-step thing. What else? So I've been working on the Android version of changes in React Native. It's currently looking like this. I got some calendars in last week, and it's got a rudimentary version of that changes graph. This week I don't know, how long did I spend on it? It doesn't say. I spent a long time on it, trying to just work with React Native, and it was just not cooperating. All I wanted to do was just navigate from here to a list of entries. I don't know if that even works. Yeah, we've got a problem in there. Yeah, it's not even working at the moment. So I just wanted to be able to navigate into these calendars. That's what I wanted to do this week. And I did not do great. I do want to get this Android basic version done, but it was so slow going this week that I'm just really frustrated by it at the moment. So it kind of needs to be easier next week. What I did just figure out is how to do how to turn off. I think it was the debugger was being weird. So now that's switched off, I think hopefully next week should run a bit smoother. The podcast this week was about, we took some TikToks. So here's grahampodcast.com. So basically I've been looking at these TikToks on the internet. I've been looking at these TikToks and sorry, this is a one-take thing. I can't edit anything out. I had noticed that TikTok doesn't seem to have a bubble in the same way as Facebook, Twitter, things like that. So I was seeing these Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro stuff that usually I wouldn't see. And I thought, well, I'm going to embrace that and start bookmarking them. And then on the podcast, we'll play them back and we'll talk about why we think it's problematic. So if you go to grahampodcast.com, you can have a listen to that one. And this week we recorded another one with some of those yesterday. So that took a little bit of editing. So this is the whole week. So I need to put how many? I need to put the duration on there. Let's just do a bit of live. Infographic creation. So we want duration, and then put that in brackets. See. So the podcast I spent 2 hours 36 minutes. That Android thing 3 hours 24. And then recording today was 1 hour 42 minutes. Shoot is my camera app for iOS. I figured out, in fact, make sure the maximum camera resolution is always used. Are we getting that? Can I? Activities. Make sure the maximum camera resolution. So I'm actually made a little, in iOS you get this big list of, this is all the possible video formats. And I was I basically went into this and I was what does all this mean? But after having done that, I'm a bit more confident to make sure that my app that simply, all it does is gives you the camera feed. So and you can switch cameras with a gesture. Oop. So that switches it back to what I'm seeing. And then there's very little to it, but I've I never show anything on the screen in the app, but what I did figure out was I've started doing is using this settings app in iOS, which, I mean, we can probably see that here. In the settings app, settings, under shoot. So now I've added in, well, this is slightly back, but what I've done is I've added in a prefer 60 frames a second option, and I've also put some like diagnostic information, so if someone comes to me with support, then they can go into the settings app and see what camera resolution they had. I'll just so obviously there's not much point running in the simulator usually, because it's so we've just, this looks bad on the chroma key, but yeah, you just see there's a 60 frames a second preference, and it shows you like what it's using as a video format. What else? Done good. So I've been working on this app, which is, so you see, this is a coda document that I use for everything, and it looks like this. This is kind of like the best I could get it to look. So you see, this is what I'm doing right now. And then it's got these tasks, and I've got targets that I'm focused on. And this is like my schedule for the week. But I would like to, I've kind of been evolving this enough that I'm ready to like make my own version of it. And this is what it's going to look like. It's like, here is the one thing I have to do next. If I want to see all of my tasks, I can see that. I mean, this is a work in progress, but some stuff I've been wanting to do is like really make this a sort of experience. So here's like the checkbox for the task. Obviously, there's always like complete without. There'll be options in these other ones, but really it's like, okay, I finished it, and I wanted it to just be like, just give you like a nice feeling when you do that. It does strike through. I've got a bit of a bug there. But what I did this week was I have been working on this target editor. Like in here, I have to, I've sort of got to do it in this table and add a thing. So it's still a bit more complicated feeling than it could be. But I can at least like organize my projects and add some time in. And I did like this multi-select thing where you can like add it to multiple days, or you can hold shift to select different days, and you can like select the project and that stuff. So this is the screen I'm working on, and this sort of like MVP, just about works. But here's sort of what it's looking like so far. Procrastinate button, add task button, save, add another project, blah blah blah. So this is like my this will be a subscription website. You'll get one task, you'll get like admin for free or something, but yeah, this is sort of a website I'm making that I'm hoping I can in the next few months be able to launch. What else? And then music related stuff. I have been working on this thing. So this is my like music video written in code platform. Why is this white area? Who knows? But what I did today was, what I did this week was added a physics engine. So there's like a car, but it doesn't really work that well. Come on. It's really unclear whether it works. I've been using this JavaScript workers thing. So it's sort of multi-thread the physics engine. So there we go. Look, we can see the physics is sort of working. By the way the car is like balancing, but like if it's on get connected, we should be able to see it like bouncing everything around. But I just wanted to be able to like drop things in on top of this stage. So that's been yeah, there you go. Like every time there's a drum beat, it like nudges everyone that can be nudged. It's all a bit CPU hungry and a bit awkward to work on. But I mean, this is some pretty gnarly code, to be quite honest. It's I'll show you a little bit of the show you what it looks like, and I'm really like adapting some kind of horrible. This is how that's constructed. So I've been working on this drop object, so it can load in something, and I'm making these elements in Magica Voxel. So here's the car. So I wanted to be able to like create a car, drop that in, have the physics engine, and just like cause some chaos with a physics engine. But this flipping physics engine has been more trouble than it's worth so far. Often you can just like drop something in and it's fine. But in this case, like the example code was grim, and I'm not entirely sure about this multi-threaded model. It seems like Chrome locks up a lot and doesn't work that well. But that's what I've been working on there, because I want to make like a music video for every song on my album, because I spent a lot of time, a lot of money on that album, and which is it's called How to Live Forever by Michael Forrest. So I'm just doing all the songs of that exists. It's on Spotify, it's on Bandcamp, 10 tracks. So I'm trying to like promote that a little bit. Maybe any people that still, for whatever reason, still want to buy music can, or at least like add it to a playlist or something anyway. And then, yeah, generally, that is my report for, what's the date today? The week ending the 15th of May. So I hope you are staying safe and staying out of trouble and not paying too much attention to people trying to end lockdown because of business, when they don't really care whether the people get sick or hurt. They just want to make sure the money keeps coming. So watch out for that. And I'm going to try and do this every week. So I'll see you next week. Bye.